The name of this documentary is Quest.
We have the director and producer with us. Jonathan Olshefski is the director, and Sabrina Schmidt-Gordon, producer of Quest. And it says just in the opening line here, filmed over the course of a decade. Yes?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Wow.
That's a commitment.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
10 years as you follow Christopher Quest Rainey and Ma Quest and all the little quests, I guess. This is a family in Philadelphia.
North Philadelphia.
So first of all, Quest. Why are they called Quest?
So they run a music studio out of their house called EverQuest Recordings. So then, they had the studio, and then just the neighborhood just gave them the names Quest, and then, Ma Quest.
Mm-hmm. And how did you, what drew you to them? How did you stumble across them?
Yeah. So I was actually teaching a photography class in the neighborhood, and one of my students one day, JC, says, hey, my brother runs a studio out of his house just a couple blocks away. Do you want to go meet him? And I was like, all right, shrug my shoulders, sure, let's go take a walk. And we walk over, knock on the door. Quest opens the door, sees his brother and me, and this dude with this camera is like, what's going on? What do you guys want to do? But I introduced myself, and later on they invited me to come and take pictures of the guys recording at the studio to kind of help promote them and kind of give them a little bit of a boost. Mm-hmm. And that was the first sort of interaction. I was working construction at the time and doing like art on the side and was really interested in the community that they had created. And then when I found out that Quest delivered papers for a living, so he had his day job and then his like creative passion, which I totally related to.
Over that.
Totally bonded over that. Also bonded over the fact that we were both Pittsburgh Steelers fans, which we had a sad day yesterday.
Sorry.
Yeah, terrible. I asked, hey, could I go on your paper route and maybe do a little photo essay of like the paper route versus the studio life? And that's how it all started.
You went from let me follow you on your paper route to let me follow you for the next 10 years.
That's what I said up front. Like, I'm going to follow you for 10 years. And he was like, sure, that's great. It was very incremental.
Wow.
And so, Sabrina, you came on board as a producer of this. How did Jonathan convince you that what he was doing was something that you ought to put together as a film?
Well, actually, we were introduced by a mutual filmmaker friend when John was ready to try and take all that footage and turn it into a film, and we needed to raise money and come up with strategy and so on. And initially, I got some footage, and I was kind of like not really sure what to make of it, but it was clear that, he had become really close with the family and had a lot of nice, really intimate moments. So I felt like there was something here. It was just a matter of like really kind of working with it and figuring that out.
As an outsider, though, what interested you about the Quest family?
Well, I thought it was an opportunity to tell a really poignant story of an American family, and using this particular family and an African-American family and kind of frame that in terms of like an overall American experience, I thought was an interesting idea. And I think, often I do, most of my career has been documentary filmmaking, and a lot of times you approach stories from like the issue and then you find the story. This is a story that obviously can elevate other issues, but it's not first and foremost like an issue film. It is just a really beautiful family portrait.
So who goes to record at EverQuest Studios?
There's a whole crew of just guys in the community. It's hyper local, so it's probably, men and women from, 4 or 5 block radius. And they do a thing called Freestyle Fridays where they just throw their door open and whoever wants to come in and freestyle. And it's just a great, amazing community.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then what becomes of these recordings? How do they try to promote them at all? Or do they just say, well, there you go, there's your recording and do with it as you will? Or what happens to it?
Yeah, so for some, it's just sort of the process. They like the community. They like to just freestyle on the mic. Others do kind of put down songs and, kind of burn CDs and kind of, shop the CDs around and do stuff online. So it's a wide variety. For some, it's just an outlet, so they're working regular, jobs, and then, they Freestyle Friday is an opportunity for them to blow off steam and just kind of hang out with their friends.
Now, if you follow them for 10 years, their kids must have gotten older and picked their own careers and gone to do their own things. Are they in the family business or are they out and
Yeah. So their youngest daughter, PJ, is one of our central subjects. She was 6 years old when I first met her, and so I got to watch her grow up through the course of this film. She turned 17 last year, and she's really following in her father's footsteps. So she's plays the keyboard, she drums, and she's actually getting into kind of sound engineering. And so she's going to graduate high school, this spring, and is looking to kind of follow in Dad's footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
With a paper route and
But hopefully
the whole package.
don't have to do the paper route.
I hope not.
Kinda,
do they ever make any money on this? I mean, do they make a little money on the side doing all of this?
Little bits of money, but again, yeah, it's about the community.
right.
It's just about getting by. Oh.
It's called Quest. Let me ask you this. You had 10 years of shooting stuff, and then you had 10 years of footage. It was a lot of stuff. Was that a difficult thing to put together?
Well, I would say that, it's not as if it was, thousands and thousands of hours. Even though he filmed for 10 years, I think he was pretty judicious about how much he shot. So it might not be as much as you might expect.
Okay.
But the challenge is, because it is, you are following someone over time, there were some challenges about we can't really... we have to sort of follow that PJ is not jumping around in age. Yeah, so there's a continuity issue. And then in terms of the story you want to tell, there's some, moments that might be really nice, but they don't fit into the overall arc. So you might have to let certain things go. But I think, because we started, we have the 2008 election and then we had the current election, that serves a little bit as a nice through line.
Is there any, it sounds all like it's all very positive, but are there any kind of downs and sad things that happen along the way?
Yeah, there's definitely hard times. North Philadelphia is a neighborhood that's sort of besieged by a variety of, sort of issues. And unfortunately, I think sometimes it gets defined by those issues. And so, we keep it real and we show what really happens, but we also focus on the beauty of the community and the beauty of the family as well. So you do see how sort of some external forces impact the family and how they have to struggle against that.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was alluding to when I said that the family story can sort of amplify a lot of different issues, because they certainly are all affected by them in their day-to-day life, but it's not as if they're doing a thesis about it or something. You just kind of see it being lived and dealt with.
It's called Quest. Best of luck with it.
You've had your premiere?
Yes, on
Yeah, we
Saturday.
premiered Saturday.
We have a
And?
screening today at 4.
How did the premiere go?
It was amazing.
Great.
Amazing.
Good,
yeah.
good.
Yeah. The audience really embraced the family, and that's the whole point, is just to get viewers to fall in love with the family the way that I have fallen
They
in love
like
with
them as much as you did.
That's the goal.
Yep. All right.
Still chances to see it's playing. I've got 9 p.m. Today.
But you
Four-
said
No,
4
4
p.m.
p.m.
4
today.
at the Temple Theater. Is that right?
No,
That
that was our premiere. That was
That was the
Saturday.
premiere.
That was our
Okay,
premiere.
I'm looking at
so
the wrong day.
going from Monday, there we go.
I could help out here. So
Yeah.
4 p.m. today.
Okay.
On Wednesday the 25th, we're going to be in Salt Lake City at 3:45. On Thursday, we'll be at the Library Center Theater at 12 p.m. noon. And Friday at 9 p.m. we'll be at the Yarrow Hotel Theater. So we'd love to have
right.
more people come out and introduce you to the Rainey family, the Quest crew.
All right.
Great.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Jonathan
much. Thank
Olshefski and Sabrina Schmidt-Gordon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.